What's up guys, and welcome to today's new video where I want to talk a little bit about how to dropship from Alibaba, because if you're like most people, you're using probably AliExpress, and recently I got plenty of messages of people asking me how can I actually do that on Alibaba, because I want to do it a little more professionally, or I simply want to use another platform and try different suppliers and stuff like that. So in this video I want to show you how to actually do that and what you should pay attention to on Alibaba, as it's actually my platform of choice, right? So I used Alibaba most of the time. I used it for dropshipping, but I also used it to buy stuff in bulk. And for our next e-commerce business that we are currently planning, that takes quite some time, we will also be using Alibaba for sourcing again. So yeah, let's get straight to the point and start with the sourcing process. So let's say you have a certain product in mind, right? And you are not 100% sure about how to go with it when you are dropshipping. And now there are two main things that you can do in order to really find your supplier. So the first thing is, let's look for something, and we see here that these are some popular searches that we have right now. So why don't we actually just, use one of these and, for example, go with bamboo toothbrush. Now, this might be an extreme example, but because this could be really, really cheap. And of course, there is a certain limit. Like, not every product, of course, will be dropshipped. If it's like super cheap, super small, chances are that it also doesn't make sense in the first place. But the thing is that when you look for a product, you see here how many products there are for this search query. And you also see the minimum orders of the different suppliers. So here always it says one piece. Now you have to be a little bit careful. Sometimes they want to like just get you on board and get you like to check out their page. But if you really try to buy one of their products, they tell you, hey, minimum order quantity is like 50 or 100. So one thing that you can do very quick is to hit Control F and type in MOQ. Okay, in this case, there is nothing. So let's look for minimum. Let's look for order and see whether something comes up. Can I buy one piece? Of course, we support one piece sample and small quantities order, especially for new customers under a certain condition. So that's the first thing that you should always try out. You should search the page, and since they're very long, you probably don't want to read everything. So look for things like order, for minimum, for quantity, and for MOQ. And in this case, for example, we can dropship, but as it says here, they do small quantities as well as one piece as a sample order. So chances are they won't like continuously, deliver your order one by one if you don't like tell them that you are gonna make a bigger purchase order soon. So what I like to do a lot is when I actually want to dropship and not buy in bulk, I tell some businesses like, hey, we are now building a new brand, we are testing the waters, but we definitely plan to buy like 200 pieces or 500 pieces or 1,000 pieces depending on the price very, very soon. So that way you kind of encourage them to work with you, because you tell them soon I will buy a bigger order, but at the same time you can make use of dropshipping in the beginning. Now in the second step, I recommend to buy the product in bulk anyway. So if this becomes like your winner, let's say you have a general store and you actually want to sell these toothbrushes, and you sell like 20 of them or 50 of them or something like that per day, of course it makes sense to actually buy them in bulk and then resell them. It will be cheaper, it will be quicker and everything. But if you want to really dropship purely, you can also do that by then contacting them. As I said, you should check on their webpage, you should on their listing, you should see if there is an indicator that they do so. But ultimately, of course, also the price has to make sense. So if you sell this product for $5 or something, probably this is not really going to work out. In general, I recommend that you stay at least above $20 to $30 when you dropship, so sales price. Ideally, you are more in the like $60 to $70 or $80 range, not to mention high ticket. High ticket in general. This is even better in my opinion. So this is one thing that you can do. In this case, you would just go ahead and contact the supplier. You tell them like, I want a quantity of 1. You can, of course, also type in 500 here. So that way more people will actually read it. And then you can tell them, hey, I plan to buy 500 after we did some initial tests. That's perfectly fine. I've done it many times in the past and they were totally okay with that. And I also recommend that you create an account with Alibaba. Then, of course, when you contact them, write something like, "Dear Sir or Madam, I am whatever the name from the US, for example, and we are looking for a reliable partner to dropship these products with us," and things like that. So that's the first thing you can do. Very straightforward. I'm sure that you kind of probably tried this before, or at least you considered to do so. The second thing is that you can use a so-called sourcing solution, and here you can go with an RFQ, request for quote. So what you do here is you see that on the right hand side it says completeness of information, because with a request for quote you basically tell the suppliers on Alibaba what you need. So let's say we stick with a bamboo toothbrush example. You type in something like bamboo, oh it's right here, bamboo toothbrush, and then you have pieces or like containers or something like that, but I assume you want to go with pieces. And then same thing here. You can say that, "Dear Sir, Madam, I'm looking for the products with the following specifications." And then you tell them, for example, must be FDA approved, because you want to sell it in the US and you want to make sure that you are applying to all the rules and that playing by the rules basically. But of course you can also tell them up front, "Hey, I'm looking for products with the following specifications and I'm looking for a supplier that I can dropship from." So what happens when you create this request for quote is you tell people what you need and you tell them up front what you want to do. So you tell them, "I want to dropship," and you can also upload an attachment here, so you can find a picture of a product that is exactly like the one you want to sell. So you can find one on the internet, you can upload it right here. And that way you can, filter the suppliers and make sure that you only work with those that actually make sense in your specific case and that are willing to dropship. Because if they respond to you positively, of course, this means that they want to dropship and that they want to work with you that way. Now, you can add some more requirements. You can add, for example, whether you want to send the product right to your place, which if you dropship, technically it should be DDP, so delivered duty paid, instead of, for example, CIF, which means cost insurance freight. So in this case, the product will be brought to your home destination port. So you have to deal with like sending the product from the port to your place or to the customer and things like that. So you see here destination port already. And also you can make specification about the payment method. You see that PayPal is actually not even in here, but I don't think that these are really important for you at this point. Just make sure that you talk about dropshipping here, that you talk about the product, and that you really let them know what you're looking for. Because if you have certain requirements like about sizes or materials or even things like, certificates, FDA approval and things like that, then you should put it right in here. And you will see that this is just a little easier to do than to do it on AliExpress. Now, one last thing that I wanted to show you is I want to, show you what you should pay attention to when you're looking for these suppliers here. So you will see that this one here, for example, is a trading company and they are a gold supplier. They offer trade assurance and an on-site check. Now, gold supplier may seem cool, but it doesn't actually mean anything, because gold supplier just means that they paid to get the status basically. Now, trade insurance is much more interesting because trade insurance allows you to, have a lot of security, because Alibaba will basically secure your order, and after you receive the products, you can tell Alibaba basically, "Hey, okay, everything is fine, the products are good," and everything like that. So that's a really good sign. Now, if you want to dropship, of course, you are not going to use trade assurance for each product or something like that. It's not even possible because you don't receive the product. But it's still good to know if a supplier offers that, because it means that they are confident in what they offer, they are confident in their quality and all that stuff. So that's definitely something you should pay attention to. On-site check means that they have been verified. Here it says a third-party verification company has confirmed the legal status of the supplier. Doesn't mean too much, but at least it's better than nothing. And of course, then ultimately here the reviews, in this case 5 out of 5 points. Pretty good transaction level, 81 transactions, not that much total value over the past 6 months, but still, this in general would be a supplier I would, consider to buy from. Now, of course, a trading company is never as good as like a manufacturer, because you will see that on Alibaba, many businesses are actually resellers. So they buy from the manufacturer, or sometimes even they buy from another, reseller, and this reseller buys from a manufacturer, which means, of course, that that the prices will go up with every single step. So the closer you can get to the manufacturer, the better. But they're not super easy to find on Alibaba. So you would have to do a little bit of research to really find good ones here. But yeah, this was it. A pretty short video on using Alibaba to dropship and what you should pay attention to. I hope that this was helpful for you. And if you want to take your e-commerce business to the next level and learn more about things like sourcing, but also on, of course, Google Ads and how to build your e-com strategy so that you can make more sales, I recommend that you check out the description for my free clarity call. And this is a call where me or someone from my team will sit down with you for 60 minutes and talk about like how we can help your business grow to the next level. Like, you can tell us more about your situation, how we can help, and we will give you advice on that. And yeah, if you want to check that out, make sure that you go to the link in the description. And else, I'm looking forward to see you soon. Please leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and also leave a comment like, have you used Alibaba before or not? Is it something that you want to try? And of course, subscribe if you don't want to miss out on future e-com and marketing videos. So thanks a lot for watching, and I'm looking forward to see you in the next video too. Bye bye.